everyone, and here we are officially starting the program. I'm so happy that all of you could make it tonight. I always think to myself on a Sunday evening, well, I counted 73 participants right now, and a few more might trickle in. Imagine that 73 people are not playing with the kids, playing with the dog, going for a walk in the park. You're here, and we really appreciate that. We know that it's because you want a chance to talk to these four wonderful authors, and Hank and I are really thrilled to be able to present this program so consistently. So for those who don't know, I'm Karen Dion. I am the best-selling author of two novels of psychological suspense that are set in Michigan's Upper Peninsula wilderness, The Marsh King's Daughter and The Wicked Sister. Both books have been won awards and been on bestseller lists around the world. Marsh King's Daughter is published in 28 languages, which is really gratifying. And iBooks chose it as one of their best books of the year when it published, and the New York Times calls it, I hate saying this because I'm a Midwesterner and I'm not supposed to praise myself, but the New York Times called it subtle, brilliant, and mature, about as good as a thriller can be. So that was all pretty exciting. And I'm working on additional novels. Now, the fun part, I get to introduce the authors. So I'm going to do this alphabetically. We have four amazing authors. Yeah, and I just can't wait to chat with them in this introductory program, but then also in the breakout rooms. So we'll start with Rene Denfeld. She's the best-selling author of four novels, including The Child Finder and Sleeping Giants. Do you have a copy of Sleeping Giants you can hold up?
I do.
Yeah. Isn't that a gorgeous cover? Love the
I
cover.
know, it's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, very evocative. So her books have been described as thrillers written like poems. Renee has won numerous prestigious literary awards, including a French Prix and a listing for the ALA Medal for Excellence in Fiction. In 2017, the New York Times named her a Hero of the Year, and she was awarded the Break the Silence Award in Washington, D.C. Doesn't say what for here in your bio, so we'll have to ask you about that in the breakout rooms, what you've been up to, but it sounds like an amazing honor. And Renee, you're calling in from Portland, Oregon, right?
Yes, I'm here in Oregon. It's actually a little after 4 o'clock my time, and quite beautiful out here. So happy to be here.
Thank you. Yes. So I want to just mention briefly, Sleeping Giants is her new novel. It published March 26th, and it's been described as this cold pounding ocean, the cold pounding ocean, treacherous with undercurrents, mauls the Oregon coast and sets the highs and lows of this magnetizing tale of loss and discovery. And that's from Booklist, a starred review. So pretty nice to have that happen. All right, Paul Doiron, hi.
Hello.
I feel like you're an old friend. We've only really interacted in person once, but we had dinner together, and it was at a wonderful book festival. And so, yeah,
we were conference buddies.
Yeah, that's right. We are. So Paul Doiron is the best-selling author of the Mike Bowditch. Bowditch or Bowditch?
I say Bowditch.
Bowditch. I should have asked you.
I honestly don't care.
Okay. The Mike Bowditch series of crime novels set in the Maine woods. His first book, The Poacher's Son, won the Barry Award and the Strand Critics Award and was nominated for an Edgar for Best First Novel. And all of the subsequent books have gone on to win awards too. Pitch Dark is the book he's here for now. It's going to publish on June 25. But you can pre-order it. You can always pre-order it. So, do that.
Exactly.
That's always much appreciated. You too got a starred book list review. Doiron's crisp first-person narrative is thoroughly absorbing and richly atmospheric. Readers will enjoy every pine needle crunching step. I like that part.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. So next up, we have Nick Medina. Nick was born in Chicago, and he's a member of the Tunica Biloxi tribe of Louisiana. He appreciates local and native folklore, which, along with research into the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls epidemic, inspired his debut novel, Sisters of the Lost Nation. Do you have a copy of your new one you can hold up?
I do.
It's Indian Burial Ground. This is his second novel, and it published April 16. That's like, what, A week ago, a few
Yep.
days ago, handful of days.
Not quite a week yet. Still
Yeah,
brand new.
so we're really happy that you could join us in the middle of your book tour. And here's a quote from Anna Reyes, who has been a guest here in the back room. She says, Nick Medina blends myth and reality, supernatural danger, and ordinary human menace into a story that will pull your heartstrings even as it shreds your nerves. So that sounds pretty awesome. We can find out more in the breakout rooms.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Robin Peguero. Say your last name. I mangled it.
You said it fine, Peguero, but
Oh.
that works for me.
Okay, very nice. Robin spent 7 years storytelling to juries for a living, most recently as a homicide prosecutor in Miami. An Afro-Latino and the son of immigrants, he graduated from Harvard College and Harvard Law School. There's a story right there. Anyway, he has written for the Miami Herald, the Harvard Crimson, and the Harvard Law Review, and he served as a press spokesman in the U.S., a speechwriter in the U.S. Senate before becoming a lawyer, and an investigative counsel on the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. And he's currently chief of staff to a member of Congress. Sorry, mangled
No
that,
worries.
didn't I?
Not
Yeah.
anymore, though. I left in January. I'm back home in
Oh,
Miami.
you did? Okay, all right. Must be the book writing is going really well.
You know,
So,
let's say that.
so Robin obviously writes legal thrillers and he's got the background for it. His new novel is called One in the Chamber, and it's no secret that on election night, one senator ends up dead in the chamber. I think like that's just the perfect title. I'm sorry, I apologize to all the other authors on screen and in the audience. That's just the perfect title. That's the best title ever. One in the chamber.
I appreciate it.
I love it. So this is your second political thriller, and it published March 26th. And Shelby Van Pelt, who was also a backroom guest, says One in the Chamber is a wild, wickedly fun ride. Robin's latest delivers a smart thriller mystery, while also turning a satirical eye on Capitol Hill culture and the 20-somethings that underpin it. She says, I devoured this book. So very cool. And I can't wait to read more about it too.
Thanks.
All right, so now that's the intro. Now you know everything about these four fine people except their answers to the questions I'm going to ask them. Those of you who've been here before know we play this little game of not quite 20 questions, and we have official backroom cards with questions on the other side. I'm going to ask the questions of the authors in the order that I see you on the screen, which puts you up first, Nick. What was your favorite book as a child?
It's a tough one. And one of my favorites, though, that I still return to quite frequently is the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark collection written by Alvin Schwartz. It's full of things that I love, like folklore, a little bit of mythology, really terrifying illustrations. Before when I was really small, I couldn't even look at the illustrations without being, feeling my blood run cold. I had to get over that before I could actually read the stories in those books. But yeah, those are probably my earliest influences in the world of horror.
Wow. Yes. It's hard to picture, a young child reading horror and looking at horrible illustrations. And how did you turn out so nice? I don't know. I don't understand that.
Horror people are good people.
Yeah. All right. Robin, what book made you want to be a writer?
Oh, okay. I'll say The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. It was just so difficult to get through, and I really enjoyed being able to piece together what was happening. Stream of consciousness is really hard to follow. And for me, it felt like a victory to get to the end of it, to figure it all out. So that was what made me think this is something I'd love to do on my own.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Good writing inspires, doesn't it? Yeah. Thank you. So Rene, if you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, no. Do I have to answer honestly?
No, you can say anything. We won't know the difference.
Yeah. Well, if I was going to pretend to be virtuous, I would say yogurt or something, right? But let's be honest. Pasta Alfredo, probably.
Yeah, something about pasta. I don't know.
It's gotta be pasta, whatever it is, however you sauce it, just give me the pasta.
Yeah,
What's
I
the
recently
if I-
discovered the macaroni and cheese sides at Popeyes, and it's like, oh my goodness, I can just feel the cholesterol building as I eat it. It's so good. Yeah. Okay. This is for Paul. Would you rather go back in time to meet your ancestors or travel into the future to meet your descendants?
I think I want to go back in time. Um, uh, I'm just like massively interested in history, and it was one of these things where I considered majoring in history, and I'm glad I chose English, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's so much fun just to be able to, there's so many questions, I guess, that the books don't answer about exactly what happened when. And
Yeah, yeah. We're going to move on to the section where the authors have offer some book recommendations. They've all given a little thought to what book that they think everyone here in the back room tonight should check out and read. So, Nick, let's start with your book recommendation.
What I have for you tonight is Wandering Stars by Tommy Orange. And if you're familiar with Tommy Orange, you probably know that he wrote a brilliant book called There a few years back. And There was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. And this is the follow-up. Wandering Stars picks up where There left off. And it actually goes a little deeper. It gives us some information before There and information after There. And we get to catch up with a lot of the characters that were in There. And it deals with lasting trauma from colonialism. It revolves around Native American characters. And I just thought it was a really beautiful book. The last line alone is super memorable and kind of ties everything together and just something I'll never forget. So I thought, if you're looking for a really beautiful, really well researched and really well thought out book, check out Wandering Stars, and definitely check out There as well if you haven't read that one yet.
Oh, thank you. Sounds fantastic. Yes. Can't go wrong with a author who's been nominated for a Pulitzer Prize, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Robin, what book are you recommending?
Yeah, I want to go to a throwback from, my childhood, my adolescence, reading Gabriel Garcia Marquez in my high school classes, in particular, Chronicle of a Death Foretold, which in its original language is Crónica de una muerte anunciada. And one of my, speaking of lines in a book, it opens so brilliantly. It's, on the day they were going to kill him, Santiago Nassar. So, right from the start, you have this murder, you have this death that's forthcoming, and you're trying to figure out how it happened, whether it happens, how it happens, in what way, who does it, that sort of thing.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And again, brilliant writer. Renee, what book are you recommending?
I'm recommending this book. It's called The Girl You Call. And this is a writer that was really new to me. It's a French writer, and this was translated, I think, very recently. And somebody sent it to me. And it's just, you see, it's a pretty slender little book. It's a little noir kind of novel. By this French writer who apparently has won a lot of awards and is very well known in France, but I don't think has gotten the attention in the States that he probably deserves. So I kind of wanted to bring it to people's attention. It's like a little dark, little gem-like poem of a book. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. And I love the idea of bringing attention to a book that's not on everybody's radar. That's one of the reasons why we ask you authors for recommendations. Thank you for that.
There you
Yeah.
go. All right.
Yep. Paul, what book are you recommending?
so I'm recommending this unsung, never before heard book, No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy. I'm sure nobody has ever heard of it. Yeah, the reason I'm recommending it is because I think everybody, gets exposed to the movie. Either, you see it, you watch it, or you choose not to watch it. At this stage, it's so famous. But it's really interesting to read McCarthy's actual novel first. The thing that preceded the screenplay, for a lot of different reasons. One is I just think it's actually one of the best crime thrillers of this century. The movie is fantastic too. It's one of my favorite movies. And also, I think anybody who's maybe interested in adaptation, a lot of the dialogue, I was very surprised, actually came from the book. I thought it was the Coen brothers because they're so hilarious. But now McCarthy was quite the wisecracker.
Oh.
Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed this taste of what a backroom event is like. The best part comes immediately after, when the audience is divided into 4 breakout rooms and the authors visit each room in turn. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because these relaxed face-to-face conversations between authors and readers are the hallmark of our backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded. What's said in the back room stays in the back room.